Hello, and welcome back to Ministry of Flavour. Or should that be, bonjour et bienvenue au ministère de la Saveur. I'll stop there. For everyone concerned, I can't actually speak French. Today, we were going to be making that classic rustic French dish known as quiche Lorraine. At least until I did some quick googling and discovered that
all you need for your quiche Lorraine is eggs, smoky bacon, and cream. Any additional ingredients, it's not a quiche Lorraine anymore.
So maybe not then. Today we're going to be making something we're going to call quiche Loretta, the sassier, bolder and slightly more interesting sister quiche to quiche Lorraine. Try saying that quickly for a tongue twister. Essentially, we're taking the classic quiche Lorraine recipe and adding Gruyere cheese, leek and onion. Do I need to say any more to convince you? To start off, we're going to be making the short crust pastry. Here I've got a bowl to which I'm going to add some unsalted butter, a teaspoon of sugar and a pinch of salt before creaming everything together. As usual, all ingredient amounts are over on the website. Next, I'm adding plain flour into the bowl along with 2 egg yolks to add both richness and colour to the finished pastry. I'm also adding a few tablespoons of ice cold water just to get things going. Stir everything together until it starts to form... Should have stuck with a wooden spoon. The lesson here is to be sure to choose your stirring implement wisely. Time to revert back to the wooden spoon and keep stirring the mixture until it resembles breadcrumbs. At this point you can use your hands to bring the dough together, at which point you can wrap it in cling film as it needs to take a nap in the fridge. Now it's on to making the filling, and for this, welcome back to my grayscale kitchen. To start with, I've got a pan over a medium heat to which I'm going to add a bit of vegetable oil, followed by one of the main stars of the show, smoky bacon. I'm fast forwarding here, but essentially we're going to cook it all the way through. Now that the bacon's cooked, we can remove it from the pan, leaving the bacon fat to cook our onions and leeks. We don't need all of this fat, however, so take out all but a few tablespoons of it using the old kitchen paper and tongs blotting trick. Keeping the pan over a medium-high heat, add the leeks and onions to the pan along with a big pinch of salt to help draw out their moisture. We're aiming to soften these up, turn them translucent, and then maybe a bit golden around the edges. I'm also adding some freshly ground black pepper in here. You can't really add it without salt in my opinion, and once you've gotten it to around this stage, it's about done. So now you can just turn off the heat and leave it on the hob until you need it. Back to the pastry. You may legitimately be asking yourself why I'm flapping around with some baking parchment and a fluted quiche tin. There's method behind my apparent madness here though, as I'm making sure that I have a doubled up piece of baking parchment which is slightly larger than the quiche tin. It's time to reclaim our pastry from the fridge and roll it out between the baking parchment. The method involving baking parchment means that you don't need to use any extra flour and you can stop it sticking to anything. Bash it out first a bit to release any anger or tension that you've been carrying around with you. And also to loosen the pastry up a bit. Then you want to roll it out until it's slightly larger than the quiche tin, and now for the tricky part, persuading it into the tin. Any gaps like you see here, feel free to tear bits off and paste them over. That's what short crust pastry is made for. And then, using the rolling pin, cut off any excess overhang like this. Now you can prick the bottom of the dish with a fork and coat with egg white to seal it and let it chill in the fridge. Back to the filling. So here I've got a clean bowl into which we're going to pour 4 whole eggs along with 2 extra egg yolks. Pro tip, the best way to remove any errant eggshell from the bowl is with another piece of eggshell. I'm adding some salt and pepper before whisking lightly. Then adding in the double cream and combining everything again. And now, after retrieving our pastry case from the fridge, it's on to final assembly. Essentially what I'm trying to do here is delicately layer the onion, leek, bacon and Gruyere cheese into the dish. Yes, that is real Gruyere cheese, and it did cost more than almost the rest of the dish combined. But we're making quiche Loretta here. Essentially, you want to make sure that everything is evenly mixed through. Here you can see me ladling the egg and double cream mixed delicately into the dish. We did just spend all that time layering things, so we don't want to swamp this. And yes, there is the potential that one day I will master the art of cooking and making sure everything is well composed and in the shot. Until then, bear and grin with me. Finally, it's time to add in the remaining leek, onion and bacon mixture. Pray to the pastry gods that it doesn't leak as you didn't blind bake the pastry case, and it's time for a date with a 180-degree oven. Leave it in there for about 40 minutes until it looks rustically crisp but retains an inner thigh wibble. Leave to cool. You don't serve quiche hot as a rule of thumb, but somewhere just slightly above room temperature. I put mine on a windowsill, being mindful for any passing bears. Once it's cooled in the tin, it's time to remove. Try not to panic. And there you have it. Now, honestly, I'd love to say that I positioned everything up for the beautiful slash shot at the end, but by the time I got to this point, it was 2200 hours, we were both starving, and the best I could manage was this Blair Witch-style shaky cam footage. Trust me though, it was damn delicious. See you next time.